All right. Okay. 3x3 collapsible bait pin. So basically the pin goes together by adding we start out on this pin with a top and a bottom. Simply lay down the bottom, put the 4 vertical pipes standing up in the holes created by the PVC tees. Go ahead and set the top on. Should take you about 10, maybe 15 minutes on your first go around. Yep. We fill these pipes with silicone so that water doesn't get into the pipes and actually cause them to sink. Bait pin basically consists of the top and bottom, 4 segmented panels that we line up with the 4 vertical posts. Since this is the opening where we put our baits, we make the seam fall right in front of the opening. Got zip ties. So I take the center seam and I put lined up with that far pipe. Go ahead and hit about 3 holes out. No, hit about 3 holes like there to here on this one. Okay, hit it. Long ones. We use the long zip ties on these first few just for getting the pin pulled together. Can you reach through, push mine through? Up one, up one. There you go. Come hit this one for me while I'm holding it. There you go. There you go. That's the critical one. Once you have one zip tie, you can probably use short ones now. So once you get the sides pulled together, with these zip ties, really you've closed off any area on the side panels that the pin could have any voids where bait could get out. So then we hit about every 6 or 8 inches, just the top connected to the side and the bottom connected to the side. And all these zip ties really just hold the pin together. Once you put 30 or 40 of these zip ties, it is not coming apart. The coolest part about having a collapsible bait pin is that for seasonal fishermen, they can put their pin back in the box at the end of their season. Also, if you ever wanted to bottom paint your pin, which is actually a very good thing to do, we bottom paint all of our pins at the dock. Instead of having to get a very small person to get inside the pin, you can lay all these panels out on Visqueen and basically roll them out with this, a roller with a stick. It just makes it so much easier. And once you bottom paint one of these pins, you typically you're good for about 2 or 3 years of no heavy growth. The other cool thing about the collapsible bait pin is that, let's say you're in a boat traveling, you put the cardboard box in the boat. Unlike a glued pin, which we also sell, you're not worried about it scratching the boat. It's a big deal. And then at the end of a tournament, we routinely just take them apart and put them back in the box. So, got another long, got any more longs? Oh, there. And typically for the height of the noodle, we go 3rd hole and 5th hole on the mesh. If you count down 3 holes and 5 holes, that gives you a good elevation where you don't get a ton of seaweed up on top of the pin, which weights it down, you know, makes it sink. Another thing, I like to put a zip tie about an inch from the end of the noodle. It just keeps the rope from getting caught up in behind it. Okay, there's your latch. This is a very critical component. You must glue the bottom to the sides. No, long one's good. And to get the zip ties around, if you just pre-bend them like this, usually they come through pretty easily. The other thing that happens by overlapping all these segments on the pipes, like where you join it together, you eliminate the risk of a bait getting out even if there's a little tiny gap in there. Not mandatory to tie the sides to the pipe, but I always like to do it. This is where the little person inside the pin would really help. Okay. And you can see all these zip ties that you put around the perimeter. There's really no way anything can come apart. We've never had any problems with baits getting out because the mesh is already zip tied to the upper and lower frame. All right. And this is the food tray. We put our food in. There you go. And that's how you build a collapsible bait pen. We sell them in 2x2x2, 3x3x3, and 4x4x4. This is a 3x3x3, a good everyday fisherman size. The 4x4 is good for tournaments, but that'll work. Thank you. Let's go put some bait in it.